Hello everyone, it's Crazy Mike 1706. How you guys are all doing? I shall be reviewing Final Battle 2011. Great show, great atmosphere as always. New York City is the best place in the world. And before we get started, I want to mention this guy. He had a John Cena shirt on, and the crowd went crazy on him. And another douchebag was throwing things in the ring, right? And this one dude that he was in my row, he's like, yo, I'm going to go up to him. Screw that, I'll fight him if I have to. And it was like, nah, he's not going to do it. And he actually really did do it. And the funny thing is, when he goes back to his seat, alright, and security blocks off the area where the other kid was at because they, of course, are trying to prevent a fight, he starts talking a whole bunch of shit behind security. So that was just funny, because he's on the other side of the venue, and they're just talking shit back and forth. So that was pretty cool. Unbreakable Michael Elgin versus TJ Perkins. Almost like a PWG style opener, of course, because that's where TJ Perkins is from. So it was the experience and the speed of TJ Perkins versus the raw power of Michael Elgin. These two have good chemistry, a lot of big moves, great opener. The only bad thing I would say that it could have used a less is more approach. Maybe if they could have added more meaning to the moves, done a little bit more selling, really knowing when to slow it down. But then again, it's just an opener, so they have to do what they have to do with the time that they have. Jimmy Rave versus Tommaso, for whatever, we can skip that. Jay Lethal versus El Generico and the Prodigy Mike Bennett. Maria was looking gorgeous as always, but the crowd drooling all over her and whatnot. There's better than that, okay? You take almost, I can't say almost any woman, but you know, you take a average woman and you put her in a bikini in front of thousands of men, yeah, she's gonna look like a goddess, so whatever. But the CM Punk chants was definitely funny, and especially when they were chanting sloppy seconds at her, at Mike Bennett, I'm sorry. That was pretty cool. Mike Bennett, a lot of people argue that this is the best he's looked so far, and yeah, he's definitely getting a lot better. Definitely. The whole story of this match was that he was going to coward his way out, let Jay Lethal and El Generico go at it, and then come in at the last moment. A similar strategy that you would use in a wrestling video game, of course. El Generico and Jay Lethal, they fought each other out of respect. And again, these two have good chemistry. El Generico has good chemistry with almost anybody. He was being dominated for the majority of the match, but you know what? He was able to steal the show. And there were times where it looked like, wow, you know what? He can probably even take the title. Stellar match, and the ending came great. I really liked it. It was the type of triple threat match with using eliminations. So the eliminations came back to back, which I thought was very good. Definitely, again, good match. Steve Corino versus Kevin Steen. All I gotta say is this: both of them are good wrestlers, even though Steve Corino does not get the respect he deserves at times. Both of them are pretty crazy, and both of them could work with each other in the ring. All I gotta say, this match was balls to the walls, nuts. You have to see it. I'm not even going to get into it, okay? All I'm going to say is this: barricade spot. That's it. That's it. You just have to see this fucking match. The intermission came, and surprisingly, the intermission was kind of short. But moving along, we had the tag team gauntlet, and it started with Caprice, Coleman, and Cedric Alexander versus the Bravados. Whatever. But the match really picked up when Future Shock came in. Very athletic match. I really into it, and I was kind of sleepy, but it just woke me up right away. It was really cool. The only bad thing about it is that this match followed up an amazing match, and you know, the crowd was kind of drawn out. Of course, you know, we're only human beings, but afterwards, when the Young Bucks came in the match, it took a whole different turn, because it still kept its athleticism, but the Young Bucks, of course, they're heels. They were playing to the crowd a lot more. It started slowing down. So you did see different styles and different aspects in this match, of course, because you have so many different tag teams. And finally, when the All Night Express came in, you know, a lot more storytelling. And the ending, kind of weird. I don't agree with the whole ref stoppage thing, you know. How would I say it? It has been used before in pro wrestling, but I really don't agree with it in this case. The All Night Express, wow, I couldn't believe how over they were. Pretty much all these teams got recepted fairly well, with the exception of maybe the Bravados. I mean, nobody takes those guys too seriously, but the Justin Bieber chants were, they were definitely funny. But yeah, solid match. You had basically a little bit of everything in there. Roderick Strong versus Chris Hero. This was more of a WWE style match, I would say. It it had to do with Chris Hero basically coming back and whatnot. And Chris Hero, he's really coming into his own. Over these last few years, you can see him trying different styles, and now that he's slowing it down and doing big moves when it counts, you can definitely see a big difference. You know, he's playing to the crowd a lot more, and again, he's becoming much more of a veteran. He's been that for quite a few years, but he's always been, you either like him or you don't like him, and it's weird. He always had this weird relationship. Now the love or the hate for Chris Hero is becoming a lot more consistent. It's kind of weird to explain, but I'm pretty sure those people who has been following his career can definitely understand. And this match just goes to show that you can work a WWE style in Ring of Honor and still have a fairly entertaining match. So yeah, good match. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas versus Jay and Mark Briscoe. I'm sorry, but it almost had TNA booking in this one. So they first started, and Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, they're beating the crap out of Jay and Mark Briscoe with chairs, throwing them all over the barricade, bloodying them up, and then the match started. It was long and dragged out, that sequence before the match. Now, I can kind of understand the direction they was going. They basically wanted Jay and Mark Briscoe, you know, to rise up and fight back from the bottom, but Charlie Haas, oh my God, the heat he was getting and the way he was just playing to the crowd, and he loved it. Some people can argue, well, if he's getting booed and hated on by the crowd, that means he's doing a good job as a heel, which is true to some extent, but at the same time, I think a lot of people just legitimately don't like Charlie Haas. But I mean, he's not that bad. I don't think he's as bad as people think, but again, hey, everybody has their opinions. The match picked up near the end, I would say. But again, there were times you're just like, huh? Like, wait a minute, this is just crazy. And before I get to the main event, all I gotta say is this. Hold on. My computer's acting.
Gynecomastia.
One more time.
Gynecomastia.
A third time.
Gynecomastia.
If you don't know what that is, gynecomastia is basically bitch tits. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys at that. I don't give out the results, but Jay and Mark Briscoe won the titles again. Big surprise. Ring of Honor, of course, has the best tag team division in the world. No hands, no doubt about it. But I would really like to see them shake them up a little bit. Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards. How would I say this? Hit and miss. Okay. It utilized the strong style here and there. It utilized the King's Road style here and there. But I felt that a lot of the submissions in this match were rather random. Again, I would have liked to see, how would I say it? I would have liked to see the match flow a little bit better. Yeah, it did get better towards the end, but the crowd wasn't really that responsive. One, because they didn't understand a lot of what they were doing, because again, they don't understand the Japanese style. There are a lot of guys in Ring of Honor fans that do, but again, Ring of Honor has, how would I say it, has been catering to a lot of new audiences, because again, in the last couple, not catering to a lot of new audiences, but in the last couple of years, you had, new audiences, so a lot of them just don't understand the Japanese style, and it can work, it usually does work. In this case, it didn't come across all that well. It did at times, it didn't at times. Again, hit and miss. It was still a great match. Don't get me wrong. I can't take anything away from it. But live, it could have been a little bit better. It could have flowed more. It was almost like the match should have been, let's say, for example, if a match should have been 10 minutes but was giving 17 minutes. So again, it just seemed dragged out at times. And oh well. In any event, I just woke up not too long ago from a hangover, feeling kind of fucked up, but hey, that's one of my videos, man, raw, unedited, and straight to the point. Good main event. Of course, Kevin Steen came out challenging Davey Richards, and Kevin Steen has to be champion sometime in 2012. It's Crazy Mike 1706.